Shalom. Allow me to pose a hypothetical situation to you here. Let's say you cannot catch a virus. Let's say it's impossible to catch a virus. Let's say viruses don't necessarily spread. They're more like activated in your body. And a virus is activated in your body for a number of reasons. It could be environmental. It could be just seasonal or some type of a cleansing mechanism of your body. Or it could be the Most High triggering something. But let's just say your body doesn't necessarily catch viruses. Something activates viruses in you, or activates a series of biological actions in your body that we come to know as being viruses. A runny nose, cough. We associate that as being a cold. And then, we act like, oh, I caught a cold. We say that. But what if it's not you catch a cold? What is it? What if it's really the cold is activated in you? So, and let's say you are a nefarious, uber national entity, group of people who are hell bent on eradicating all concepts of self-sufficiency, independence, individuality. And let's say you need one hell of a problem. You need one hell of a problem that you can use as a reason for everyone to abandon all those tenets, to let go of their individuality, to relinquish their ability to be independent, to let go of their sense of freedom in general, of their sense of individual people. And so, and let's say also that there's a coming storm of sickness, a coming storm of sickness that has been long prophesied. Let's say these prophecies better than anyone. And let's say you cannot stop this coming storm. It's going to happen. So the only thing you can do is figure out how to use that to your advantage. See, I'm making this video because something occurred to me. And it was like the final tumbler in a lock that opened the door. It was a bit of information I heard yesterday that I had not heard before. And after I heard this bit of information, it was like finding that final piece of the puzzle that allows you, well, maybe not the final piece of the puzzle, but that piece of the puzzle that allows you to kind of see what it is you're putting together. You kind of start to see an image. The information that I was made aware of yesterday, and I should have a screenshot here to show you, is that back in the very, very, very early days of the first of this year, like in the first 6 days of January 2020, it was already being said that we were going to have the worst flu season in decades. See, that bears repeating in light of everything that we're experiencing now, and everything that we are told that we have to do, and everything that we're going to be told needs to be done. That bears repeating. In the very first few days of this year, It was told on all the major news networks, CNN, MSNBC, The Daily Show, The Nightly Show, everything. It was told that we would experience the worst flu season, not in years, in decades. That's what was revealed. Now, if you're like me, like I said, you just came into this under this knowledge. This is not something that you knew about because, quite frankly, it is not being talked about. This is like a piece of information that was buried quite literally. You would think something like this would be relevant throughout the year, especially within the first 3 to 4 months of this new year. Yet, we have not heard anything else about this. Instead, the spotlight has been shining on a new virus. One that we're told either is the result of someone eating a bad bat meat sandwich somewhere in China. You know, somebody left the bat meat out and somebody got over to it and made a sandwich out of it and ate it. Or we're also told on kind of a conspiracy theory type vibe, but yet still this is one of the conspiracy theories that we are actually hearing from time to time from the mainstream media, which is strange because that conspiracy theories typically are not mentioned by the mainstream media. But a conspiracy theory nonetheless that China manufactured this new kid on the block, this new kid on the block virus in one of their laboratories, and it got out. You know, those are the two reasons that we are given for why this new virus has arisen. And this virus has taken the spotlight away from a disease, a virus that has been around maybe since the dawn of mankind. Because, let's say, like I said at the beginning of the video, that viruses are not caught. They're not spread. Something causes this series of biological events to activate in your body. So, we have the worst flu season in decades that we're in right now, that was told that we would be in at the very beginning of this year. But we are not hearing anything about that. All we're hearing is this new kid on the block virus, the killer C. And we're hearing it so much. We're hearing so much about the deaths that it's causing. We're hearing so much about the hospitalizations that are resulting from it. But the funny thing, we're also hearing something else. We're also hearing and we're seeing that many of these deaths have been attributed to the killer C, regardless of if the killer C was responsible for the death or not. We're being told that directly from the horse's mouth. And I hope to have a screenshot for that at this moment in the video. So I'm just putting together this puzzle for you. And hopefully I can articulate the conclusion that I've come to. And it's not a conclusion that I've heard anyone come to just of yet. But there's one more piece I would like to present. And that is the fact that not only are deaths that are not necessarily caused by the killer C being given and attributed to the killer C, being used to pad the stats, if you will, but also it has been revealed that hospitals have been getting paid incentive for admitting or claiming to admit patients who are stricken by the killer C. And that screenshot should be up now. This is these are three pieces of a puzzle. And the point I'm trying to get at, that is the reason for my little opening statement, is that if you knew the plagues of Egypt were coming, if you knew that the Most High's wrath was inevitable, but you still want to make the moves that you need to make to push your agenda, one of the only plays you have to make is to somehow change the perspective, is to somehow convince everybody that those plagues that are being sent by the Most High are not actually being sent by the Most High. In fact, that they're not actually his own doing. The best thing you can do is to take credit for the Most High's actions by attributing the plague to a new disease, something that was either the result of someone eating a bad bowl of bat wing porridge, or somebody left the door open at a refrigerator in one of the biological weapon testing laboratories. Either way, you would make these plagues appear to be less than what they are. You would make the work of the Most High appear to be less glorious and less amazing than what it is. You know, this kind of reminds me of the spat of hurricanes that we've been experiencing. And how on one side of the argument, you have people saying, oh, it's HARP, it's the government doing it through HARP. They're controlling the weather. It's the government. You know, giving the glory of the Most High, giving the glory of the Most High's work, the spectacle and fear of his work, giving it away to these gentiles, claiming that they're the ones doing it. How about the forest fires in the western part of the United States? Oh, they're using directed energy weapons and stuff like that. They're setting those forest fires and everything. Again, claiming that these events that should be seen as prophetic, that should be seen as fulfillment of prophecy, that should be seen as the work of the Most High, bringing judgment on this land, on this country. Instead of it being seen like that, where people are taking that and claiming that Gentiles are doing it. So here we got now. We got a pandemic. We are right in the middle of the worst flu season ever. But instead of it being seen as the worst flu season ever, the worst flu season in decades, we're calling it the Killer C. Instead of seeing it as the plagues being brought against this new Egypt, we're calling it something that was the result of someone eating some deep fried bat wings. Or because of the result of someone dropping a test vial somewhere. It's anything but the work of the Most High. That's how it's being presented to us via the mainstream media. That's how it's being presented to us via the most of the conspiracy theory websites out there. You know, they're saying it's a symptom of 5G. That's what they're calling it. But I'm hoping that these three pieces of a diabolical puzzle, I would say, could kind of lead you to the same conclusion that I'm kind of really only have one. It's the only conclusion I can come to. This last piece, like I said, that I was made aware of yesterday, like I said, I'm not one of those people that believe in coincidences. We just so happen to be right in the middle of the worst flu season in decades. And we also have this unknown virus popping off too. This new unknown virus popping off. Can't be a coincidence. It cannot be a coincidence. And for the people who want to believe that this virus or this flu pandemic is what it probably should be called. For the people who want to believe that this flu pandemic is anything less than the Most High's continued wrath being placed on this nation. The only thing I can say to people like that is that what he got to do to get your attention. Because he's certainly, according to his scripture, going to get everyone's attention. And that is an absolute. Shalom.